World News in 5.
Right now.
News and developments making headlines around the world in 5 minutes. World News in 5. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Good day to all of our listeners here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. This is World News in 5 and I'm your host, Steph Vicente. United States President Donald Trump has announced a new trade deal with India following a phone call with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Under the agreement, the BBC reports, the US will cut tariffs on Indian goods from 25% to 18%. President Trump said India will lower its trade barriers to zero and stop buying Russian oil. Because of this, a separate 25% penalty linked to Russian oil purchases will be removed. The US leader added that India will buy more than $500 billion worth of American products, including energy, technology, agriculture, and coal. Prime Minister Modi welcomed the agreement, saying he is delighted that closer cooperation between the world's largest democracies will benefit both nations. The deal comes after months of strained trade ties caused by high US tariffs on Indian exports, which led to a sharp drop in shipments to America. It also follows a recent free trade agreement between India and the European Union aimed at lowering taxes on most goods between the two sides. In other news overseas, former UK Minister and Labour MP Tulip Siddiq has been sentenced to 4 years in prison on corruption charges by a court in Bangladesh. The Labour Party has rejected the ruling, the BBC reports, saying the process was unfair. Siddiq and the other defendants, including her aunt, former Bangladeshi Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, were tried in absentia and have denied the charges. A Labour Party spokesperson said Siddiq was never given proper details of the case and had no chance to defend herself, adding that the party cannot recognize the judgment. The new sentence adds to a 2-year prison term handed down last year over separate corruption allegations involving land in the capital Dhaka. Siddiq has described the legal process as flawed and says she has never been contacted by Bangladeshi authorities. She stepped down as UK Treasury Minister in January last year following questions about her links to her aunt. And finally, Ukraine says efforts to stop Russia from using the Starlink internet system to guide attack drones are now showing results. According to CNN, Defense Minister Mikhailo Fedorov said Ukraine has been working with SpaceX, the company owned by Elon Musk, to block unauthorized use of Starlink by Russian forces. He said Ukraine will soon require all Starlink terminals in the country to be officially registered. Any unverified devices will be shut down. The registration process, he added, will be simple and quick. Musk confirmed that the measures taken so far have worked and said SpaceX is ready to do more if needed. Ukraine has relied heavily on Starlink since the war began, using the satellite service for military communications, government operations, and civilian needs, including hospitals and schools. Although Starlink is banned in Russia under US sanctions, Ukrainian officials say Russian forces have found ways to use the system in drone attacks. And that concludes today's edition of World News in 5. For Radyo Pilipinas World Service, this has been Steph Vicente. Good day and stay safe, everyone.
World News in 5.
Right now.
News and developments making headlines around the world in 5 minutes. World News in 5 here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.